What's up, boys and girls? This is the new Next on Deck renovated podcast. It's now the Chain Gang Podcast, where we dress as referees. We kind of act like referees a little bit. Just trying to play this out. We got a new member of the podcast coming on. We got our stat boy. We won't give him a name. He's just stat boy.
I am stat boy.
So he will give us the information on games, injuries, and if we need a stat, we'll just ask him, and he's got to know it because he's a stat boy. It's the law. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoy the show. Today we're going to be talking about Cam Newton's release. I know it happened like a week or so ago, but I feel like it's still a relevant, conversation or a topic that we got to go over. And then we got some controversial calls that, we got to review. As referees, we always got to review calls. And there were a couple calls that some coaches made this week that we're not really sure about. So we're going to go over those. We're going to give our award predictions for the year. We're also going to provide some breakout and bust candidates this season. And then we're going to give our season predictions for who we think is going to win the Super Bowl, because I know there's a lot of great teams this year, and there's a lot of teams that could win the Super Bowl. I don't think there's one heavy favorite at all. And then we'll finish it off by going through all the games this week pretty quickly and, just kind of give our winners for the week. So, like I said, we're going to start off with the Cam Newton release. It was kind of surprising that Cam Newton got released this week. But, when I heard that Mac Jones was teaching Cam Newton the playbook, I kind of figured his time was about done in New England. And, with the preseason Mac Jones had, it seemed like it was only a matter of time. So I guess Bill just thought, hey, might as well do it now than later. So Justin, as a Patriots fan, what's your kind of reaction from the Cam Newton release?
I mean, I honestly was astonished. I didn't think that a coach like Bill Belichick, who is so used to trying to have veterans on the team and kind of lead that team, would hand it over to a rookie so soon. Mm-hmm. But I think by far it's the best move they could have made. I think Mac Jones is better at reading the field, is better at deep passes. I think he's a more accurate quarterback, and I think he fits in the system better. So I think it was a great move.
He's white, so that's Bill's favorite. I mean,
true. Yeah, he's got that going for him for sure.
Probably calling him Tom every once in a while by accident, so it's a little bit of a.
Yeah, I think that's part of it too, is that Mac Jones kind of envies Tom Brady a lot, and there's been a lot of comparisons between the two. Even the walk up from the draft, you already know that like that little gif of him walking up could be compared to Tom Brady's like picture at the draft where he just looks like a 40-year-old dad. But yeah, I think it was a good move by the Patriots. It seemed like Cam is, he's not prime Cam anymore. The Panthers Cam is gone.
But he does have the Cam aura. Don't forget.
That's true.
There's a reason he's on the team now, because it would just be too intimidating.
I think he was only there as long as he was because of the vibe that he brought to the Patriots. Yeah. But I don't think Belichick was about that. Mac Jones just looks like the better quarterback, and he really does. He's a better passer. He can see the field better. Again, like I said earlier, he was teaching Cam Newton the playbook. So like when a rookie is trying to teach a veteran the playbook and the veteran's already been there, like that's a warning sign. So I think it was a good move by the Patriots. I don't know. I don't know if it was a little too early, because they don't really have a backup. Because Cam said that he would have played backup to Mac Jones.
Well, they do have a backup. They have them all in the practice squad. So the second anything happens, I think they have 2 or 3 that they could potentially pull off the practice squad. But I know Brian Hoyer is currently on there.
Oh, okay. Thank God they got Brian Hoyer to back up Mac Jones. They got it. They got it.
He doesn't do bad.
No, he's honestly he's a solid backup. I'll give you that. But I'm kind of it's a weird stage for Cam right now, because I feel like there's not a lot of teams that need quarterbacks as of now. I feel like when the season starts, interest will roll in. But Justin, do you think Cam can still be a starting quarterback for a team? Do you think teams would go after him for that reason, or do you think that Cam's kind of done? He's just gonna play a backup role now.
I mean, it depends on what Cam does. It depends on how hard he works and how he portrays himself, because a lot of times he portrays himself more as a rock star, I think, than a football player.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't think a lot of organizations are interested. a starting quarterback, maybe pushing it, but you could see him go somewhere like Washington. I think they may like him over Fitzpatrick, someone who just has tenacity and wants to run around and try and win. Someone will throw their body in line compared to someone who's getting ready to retire. And
Trash on Fitzpatrick like that ever again.
outside of that, I'm not really sure. I could see him being a backup to a Dak Prescott on the Cowboys. I think he'd fit in there. Maybe the Seahawks.
Yeah.
And then coming as a backup starter, but I don't see him starting in a lot of places.
Yeah, those teams I think were like the top targets, especially because they needed backups. I think the Cowboys honestly should be the top team to get him because Dak seems to have a serious injury every year. So it feels like it's only a matter of time. And I feel like Cowboys fans would be a little more secure with Cam Newton than Ben DiNucci, but what am I to say?
I think the only option that he has is to not be a backup is if somehow the Texans decided they wanted him. Just because I know he's better than Tyrod Taylor.
Right. Yeah, he is.
But the Texans don't really seem to want to make any good moves, so I can't really imagine them even going for him anyway.
Yeah, it's the Texans. Like they're not really in a playoff position. Like they're gonna have the worst record in the league by far. It's just gonna happen. So maybe just like as a fan interest move, maybe they'll get Cam Newton just to like bring in fans because he's still exciting to watch, honestly, even though he's not what he used to be and he can only throw like 5-yard passes now. I feel like he's still entertaining, the way he composes himself, the way, he can kind of escape the pocket a little bit.
Alone.
Right, for the interviews too. So I don't know. I think Cam Newton can still be a starter. Not a great one, but I think he's kind of moving into a backup quarterback position, and I don't think he's liking that too much. So we'll see what team Cam Newton goes to. I'm not really sure. I don't think he'll be signed for at least like 4 or 5 weeks until injuries start to roll in. So we'll see if Cam goes anywhere or if he just retires. He could just pull a Malcolm Butler. But up next, we got some controversial calls that some coaches made this week that I personally don't really agree with, and that's why I brought it up on this podcast. And the first one, which I think we can all agree with, was Matt Nagy starting Andy Dalton over Justin Fields.
I think they're so caught up in the fact now that everyone bases their quarterback off of Mahomes. The Mahomes took a year behind Alex Smith, who wasn't a great quarterback, but he did the job. He's a quarterback who people know. He gives you a year to sit and watch, and they want that sophomore hit to come out of nowhere. And I think that's the idea, is that Andy Dalton is someone who was average in his prime and is now old, so let's mediocrely walk through this year, but let Justin Fields take a year to figure it out, I guess.
I really hope they don't wait a whole year. I really
First off, Alex Smith was a stud, and it was a huge controversy when he got traded. But I agree. They're the Bears. They've sucked for how long? No one's expecting them to do anything. So I think taking their time, bringing up a young stud, hopefully, I think he's going to be a stud, is the best move they can make for their organization.
Yeah, and the Bears have always had kind of like a luring curse with quarterbacks. I don't know. It seems like they've never in their franchise history had like a really good quarterback. So I think they're being really cautious with him because obviously Bears fans were super excited when they drafted Justin Fields. He had a pretty good preseason, way better than Andy Dalton. And I think that's why, I kind of wrote this down. But I think I'm going to have to call Matt Nagy out, honestly. I don't think – I get the veteran start here, but Justin Fields is just he's the better quarterback. He really is. And I think getting that chemistry down with the receivers early is going to help him. And it's not – honestly, it's not like a situation with Joe Burrow where their offensive line is so ass that Joe Burrow is going to be on the ground half the time. Like the Bears have a pretty solid offensive line. Like it's not terrible. So I think Fields should have started this week, but I guess I understand where Nagy's coming from, that, he wants the veteran to start. But I don't know. Andy Dalton just, even last year when he played on the Cowboys, he just looked like complete trash. Like he could not complete a pass. He seemed, pressured and didn't really know what to do in the pocket. So I don't know. I think that Justin Fields should have played or should be playing week 1, but Matt Nagy, I guess, thinks otherwise. So, and then another controversial call we got this week is originally I had Dak playing week 1, but he obviously proved us wrong by throwing for like 400 yards against one of the top defenses in the league. So I guess, Dak is back. But another guy that used to be in his division that now plays for the Colts, I don't know why the Colts would be starting Carson Wentz this week. I think it's too risky. He is just coming off an injury, and he's Carson Wentz. He's fragile. I don't know.
His bones are toothpicks, and yet they still want to just throw him out there.
Exactly. I have no idea why though.
Horrible decision. I mean, week 1, like they can take a couple weeks and be fine. They have a good team that's going to come back from. I mean, they're not bad, but they lose Carson Wentz, their playoff shot's done. Like realistically.
Yeah, because their 2 backup quarterbacks are both 4th round guy, and then no one's ever heard of. So, yeah, I don't know. I Carson Wentz, I think he's gonna be solid on the Colts. I don't know, but I don't think that it's a good idea for him to start week 1. I mean, Justin, what do you think?
I mean, maybe you've never heard of their backups because you don't do their research, but Sam Ellinger is going to be an absolute stud.
Oh, well, he's out till week 4 anyway, though.
Is he out?
Yeah, he's out.
You
You got to do your research. Come on.
Look, I don't think the Colts are going to be anything special this year. I don't think Carson Wentz has it in them. I don't think they have a great receiving core. Their backs are pretty good. Their O-line is phenomenal. And their defense is pretty solid, but I just don't think they have enough to even really make a wild card round. I don't see them making the playoffs this year or within the next couple of years maybe. Depends on how they draft, but I just don't see it happening.
That's a good point because I know their receiving core is honestly probably one of the worst in the league, especially among the contending teams. I definitely think it's the worst because T.Y. Hilton's down, and now Michael Pittman, who is, don't get me wrong, he's a solid receiver, but I do not want him being my number 1 wide receiver. So I agree with you there. I just don't think that – I don't know. Like you said, the Colts have that offensive line, so maybe that's kind of their reasoning in starting him. Like, he'll be protected. Like, he'll be fine. We got one of the best offensive lines, but I just don't think it's the best move for them. But at the same time, I guess they're playing to win. So if he's healthy, they're gonna throw him out there because he's better than any other option.
He'll be hurt by week 6 anyway, so they might as well get it over with.
Right.
Speaking of fitting things in. I just kind of want to talk about coming up this year, getting these preseason award predictions before everything gets into motion. Things like MVPs, Rookies of the Year, all them Jim Jams. So we'll start with MVP. Justin, who are you thinking about this year?
MVP, I mean, it's hard to not say Patrick Mahomes. He's always a fan favorite, but someone who I really think they took a huge step last year. I think they're going to continue that. I don't know how much higher they can rise, but Josh Allen is an absolute stud.
Yo, we also have Josh Allen as our MVP, dude. Man is going off. I'm telling you, I love this offense that the Bills have built around, and just the way he composes himself and the way he's just getting better every year. Oh my God, dude's gonna go off this year.
Yeah, he's big. He's got a good arm. He can move, even though he doesn't really look like he can.
Dude, he has more rushing touchdowns than Ezekiel Elliott in the past, 3 years.
That's
he can get out of the pocket. He's nice.
Oh, yeah. Dude can run. And I think that's going to put him over the edge on Mahomes. Not saying that Mahomes – because obviously Mahomes is going to have a great year. He's Patrick Mahomes. That's just going to be his thing. But I think Josh Allen, the rushing stats is going to want to – that's going to push him over. That is what is going to get him that MVP. Absolutely. I promise you that.
Dude's a dog, no doubt. So Rookie of the Year. A lot of good rookies this year. It's a big class.
Yeah, it is a big class.
A lot of favorites if you look into that stuff.
There's not as many position players. I mean, and normally quarterbacks win that award, but even so, usually there's a little bit more position player competition.
Well, there's just so many quarterbacks taken so early this
That's
year.
True.
There are a lot of big name quarterbacks.
Yeah. So I know for me, for Rookie of the Year, I got my boy that I've been saying since day one is going to be a stud, Najee Harris. Okay, the Steelers have been waiting for a running back like him since Le'Veon Bell decided to be a bitch and not take more money.
He took win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, dude. Well, he tried to win a Super Bowl, but
he didn't win a Super Bowl.
Oh shit! Fuck! Oh, you're right. Okay, but at the time, he turned down more money to stay with the Steelers, where he was thriving, and took less money than to play with the Jets.
To
So,
win a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Okay. Eventually, yeah. He won a Super Bowl, but was he
So did
the star
Antonio
player?
Brown. So
No.
where's Big Ben
No.
at?
Okay, all right. Big Ben's already got 2 under his belt, so Antonio Brown and Le'Veon are still behind. So, but we ain't talking about them right now. We're talking about Najee Harris. Okay, I know our offensive line got kind of older. Yeah, it's not as good as it was when Le'Veon Bell was there, but Najee's a beast. Everything I've heard about him, he's impressed dudes in camp. He's just been trucking everybody. He's so quick and he can get around most defenders. He's really good at breaking tackles. And Ryan, the quality in a running back that the Steelers have not had in years is that he can catch passes out of the backfield. So I am really confident that Najee Harris is going to get this Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I think with Najee's presence on that coming out of a run game that was nothing to something is going to be huge for Rookie of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
But I also like the way Mac Jones is going to take over this Patriots team. I think with his stature on that team, he's going to take charge, and it's going to look really good for Rookie of the Year numbers.
He was my second choice. 100% he was my second choice.
You know, man, those two were my top two, so I'll go into my top three. But I agree with you. Najee Harris is going to be an absolute bell cow. The only worry I have is the offensive line. It's not very well built, but you have a guy who can come out and run amazing screens. He's got great ball catching abilities. You can put him on the line. He's just great. He's a great blocker. And then Mac Jones, now that he's the starter, I think it's going to be hard for him not to be in contention. That's a lot of usage, regardless of how great he is. It's a lot of usage on a very well-coached team. But my dark horse would be Devontae Smith from the Eagles.
Oh, okay. Why you say him though? Because as a wide, I know he won the Heisman as a wide receiver, which is still impressive, but it's even harder to win Rookie of the Year as a wide receiver.
I'm aware. Now think about it. They have two young, very talented quarterbacks, in my opinion. There's gonna be a battle, and they're gonna be sharing a lot of time on the field. So with that being said, they're both gonna look to who will probably be their number one receiver for a lot of pass catching. Mm-hmm. Who's going to be Devontae Smith? As long as he can stay healthy, he's a great route runner. He's very, very smart, and he's very, very quick. And it's going to be hard not to look at him and see him as a stud and a candidate for this award.
But I feel like Jalen Hurts is he's a good quarterback, but I don't know if he's good enough to feed Devonta Smith as much as he needs to.
He did it when they played at Bama.
Yeah, that's completely different though. That's college. Look, college is a way different game. I'm
aware.
Okay.
All right. Well, moving on to Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, obviously, Aaron Donald is always probably going to be Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah,
He's one of the best defenders to ever play football.
He's a beast.
So it's hard to bet with anyone other than that. But I got to take my boy TJ Watt coming in real close, always fighting for that spot. I mean, he puts up crazy numbers, and hopefully people won't keep dying on the defense this year, and he'll have a little bit of help to take away some of the focus on it.
Well, do you think, him not being really, as ready for the season because of the contract issues that he's had with the Steelers, do you think that's going to have any effect on him?
I think he'll be fine because it seemed like with, the way he was doing, he was practicing, he was training hard. He just wasn't technically on the field.
Right.
And it's not like he's never played with these dudes before.
That's true.
It's the same people. They know who he is. They know his work ethic.
Well, do you think with not having Bud Dupree there on the other side, though? Because, I know we got Melvin Ingram. I love Melvin Ingram, but I don't think he's going to be as good as Bud Dupree.
He's not Bud Dupree, but he's better than what TJ Watt had last year.
That's true. He is better than Highsmith.
Yeah, he's better than Highsmith. So you're meeting in the middle. So.
Okay. It's a good pick. I hate I hate that this was my pick. But I really feel like he's going to go off this year. I think Myles Garrett is going to get the – ow, fuck. That hurts so bad. Okay, I feel like Myles Garrett is going to get defensive – No. Okay, but let me reason with you here, okay? Myles Garrett is a fucking beast, okay? Every offensive line in that division has gotten worse since last year. With the Ravens trading Orlando Brown, the Steelers releasing David DeCastro, and the Bengals not drafting Penei Sewell. So I think that Myles Garrett is going to go off this year. I'm calling 15 sacks. I think that he's going to absolutely destroy everybody. It's not even going to be a contest. Myles Garrett is going to win Defensive Player of the Year unless he gets suspended by kicking Mason Rudolph's ass again. So, but hopefully that doesn't happen.
All right, you guys both went D-line, and I understand that, but hear me out. J.C. Jackson of the Patriots has steadily been improving. And now hear me out. Stephon Gilmore is supposed to be out for a significant portion of the season.
That's true.
What was he looking like last year, stat man?
Okay. I'm sorry. He got one good stat. He had 8 interceptions. That's impressive. Don't get me wrong, but interceptions ain't everything.
As a cornerback, too. Now, he's going to have to take a step up, and I think he can only improve from there. He had, I believe, around 60 tackles. I think he had 9 interceptions, and now you're going to put him on as a number 1 cornerback. I think he can only go up, and he's going into a contract year, so he's going to be trying his ass off. And he's playing in one of the best defensive system coaches in the NFL.
But the thing is, now that he's going to be a quarterback 1, he has to guard against wide receiver number 1s. When Gilmore was there, Gilmore was shutting down wide receiver 1s. So, it wasn't. I don't know. He's going to have a tougher time. I don't know. I don't think
Gilmore let up one passing touchdown.
Exactly. Gilmore's a beast. He's a beast.
J.C. Jackson only let up 4.
I don't know, dude. But
that's wide receiver 2s.
Against wide receiver 2s. I don't think he can cover wide receiver 1s. I don't think
he can do it. We'll see. I think he has it in him.
All right. We'll see.
Flipping the other side of the ball, we got Offensive Player of the Year. Justin, what are you going for there?
Offensive Player of the Year.
It's so hard because I feel like MVP is such an offensive award.
Yeah. If he can stay healthy, it's hard not to give it to a Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah. That's true. McCaffrey's going to go off this year if he can stay healthy, considering he's it's crazy to think that he's not even it's not like he's on the team with literally no other weapons. Because DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson, they're solid receivers, but he just gets so many catches out of the backfield. So many. He gets at least 8 or 9 a game. So I definitely think him, but I think I'm going to go with the obvious choice. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to get Offensive Player of the Year. I guess, maybe that doesn't make as much sense since I had Josh Allen as my MVP. So you would think that Josh Allen would also be Offensive Player of the Year, but the NFL is kind of weird like that. So
they are weird.
I'm going to go with the obvious choice. I think Mahomes is going to go off again this year like he does every year.
Yeah, I'm switching it up, and I know that realistically Christian McCaffrey is the best running back in the league. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. But who knows what he's doing with his life?
That's another topic.
In a certain sense.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Dalvin Cook's going to put up some crazy numbers this year, and I'm looking at Dalvin Cook for Offensive Player of the Year.
Okay.
He's up there for me.
He's been consistent. He's been constantly getting better and better each year. Number 2, maybe number 3 running back, whatever you want to call him, every single year for the past couple of years. And I think this is his breakout year.
That's true. And, the Vikings are only getting better, especially on offense. I also noticed you had Lamar Jackson written down. I think it was a good choice not to pick him, considering that his whole team is just going to tear their ACL.
Now that everyone knows about ACL, he's no longer anything.
I mean, dude, he's got Rashad Bateman out, Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins. Who's next? Probably
he's got Le'Veon Bell.
Oh yeah, true. Don't worry. He's got Latavius Murray, Devontae Freeman, and Le'Veon Bell.
All 3 of those running backs and Lamar Jackson have had 1,000-yard rushing seasons. They have
all 4 of those running backs.
Yes, exactly. All 4 of those running backs.
It's oh my gosh, it's like the washed up retirement home, basically just pulled up.
Too bad RG3 left.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I think those are all really good picks. I honestly don't deny any one of those. All of them can happen.
Up next, we have our booms and our busts. Talking about people who are going to come out and be absolute trash, obviously busts, and people who are going to be pretty freaking solid. Those are our breakout booms. So we'll start with some breakouts. Personally, my first breakout, Darnell Mooney.
Oh, I love it. He's
my
going
boy
off.
He's a really good receiver, and every single pass he had last year was about 10 yards downfield.
I love seeing that video of him butt fuck open in the middle of nowhere, and Trubisky throws it 20 feet over his head.
If he gets a quarterback and give him the ball, he's open all the time.
Yeah.
He's not going to be wide receiver 1. I know that. Allen Robinson's going to stay that, but he's going to be one hell of a receiver too if people can get him the ball.
He's a great weapon. Great weapon. I know I'm breaking the order, but I'm just really excited to
do
say
your
this
thing.
guy. Yeah. I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I think he's going to go off this year. Chiefs offense is, the Chiefs offense is like one of the best in the leagues. I think Edwards-Helaire kind of was under the radar last year because it seemed like there was a lot of running backs in the mix. But I think Andy Reid realizes that this is his guy, So I think Edwards-Helaire is going to get a lot more touches this year, a lot more catches out of the backfield. So I think he, through those, abundant number of touches, he's going to go off. Justin, who you have?
All right, my next, Damian Harris, running back for the Patriots.
Oh, of course, he's going with the homeboy. Okay.
Well, hear me out. All right, so I was a big fan of Sonny Michel, but now he's traded, which makes Damian Harris running back 1, which he's already kind of been for the last year. Mm-hmm. And last year, not being the official starting running back, he put up about 700 yards, I think 5 touchdowns. And now he's going to have some heavy usage. The rest of his competition is mostly receiving backs. James White, you can't, he's not a power back. He's not going to get, first down reps like Damian Harris. I think he could have a really big year.
Do you still have Rex Burkhead, though?
No, he's been gone. He's on the Texans.
Then you're good.
Oh, of course. Dude, that's the new Lakers. That's where old players go to just play the last couple of years. They just go to the Texans now.
Yeah, bust. People that are being dog water this year. My first bust is Micah Parsons. Bust is also in the AFC East or NFC East. Miles Sanders.
What?
I'm not sold on. He is.
Statboy is not agreeing with
Miles
that right now.
Sanders has to hit a 99-yard run every game to be anything of a running back. He's not. He's what James Conner was, where he'll have one big run and then he'll.
You really just compared Miles Sanders to James Conner?
I'm not saying James Conner is definitely worse, but Miles Sanders is not a running back you can rely on.
He is.
No, he's
yes,
not.
He is. He's a very solid back who can do just about everything. You could play him all 3 downs.
Dude, Miles Sanders might be.
He can run a power run. He's
good.
He
is an outside runner.
Look, he might be the Walmart Saquon Barkley, but the Walmart Saquon Barkley is still a pretty good running back, okay? This man can catch out of the backfield. The only time the Eagles offense did anything is when they gave Miles Sanders the ball.
No, when Fulgham caught the ball is the only time the Eagles offense
my
did
God.
anything.
But they released him. He's not even on the team anymore. So what are you
I
going
would
to do
like to
now?
say real quick, with a year where you're not sure who your quarterback's going to be, you don't have a lot of receivers, I think he's only going to go up in usage. I think he's going to have a better year than he has.
Okay.
Dumbass.
Yeah, bad call.
I
Bad
respect
call.
disagreement.
Bad call.
It's not your guys' fault that you're stupid.
No, it's okay. No, we're gonna just have to review it later in the season. But I think
And I'm not just saying that because he's on my fantasy team.
Yeah, that's just I don't know. That's just a bad call. I don't like it. Refs are supposed to make good calls. Bad call. My bust, which is a much better call, is Josh Jacobs. I know that he's been a good part of this Raiders offense. And they don't really have any receivers, so that's kind of why Josh Jacobs has been a little bit better. But I think them picking up Kenyon Drake in the offseason, I think Kenyon Drake is going to get a lot more touches, and it could be similar to what Chase Edmonds and Drake were last year. And the Raiders' offensive line is not great either. And the Raiders have a lot of tough matchups, so I think Jacobs is not going to do as well as people want him to this year.
I love Josh Jacobs. I think he's going to have a good year. I think the line is going to hold him back a little bit. I don't think Kenyon Drake is going to affect him as much as people think it will. But I think this is the year where you really see if he elevates himself to superstardom or he just stays at being a good running back. But with that being said, we'll move on to my pick, which is Zach Wilson. And
you bust on Zach Wilson so much. I'm not surprised at all.
Zach Wilson is going to be garbage in the NFL. I will stake my entire life
How many
savings.
cheerleaders did you take to homecoming? Probably
One.
way less.
Yeah,
than
right.
you.
He took
Wilson
two. He
took
took
two,
your
baby.
day. That's what he did.
Whatever. No, dude, I don't think he has. Now, I know he had a good preseason. I know people were really big on him. People are saying he's going to be a top 15 quarterback within a year, 2 years. I don't see that happening, dude, especially not on the Jets.
No.
I think he's going to show some moments. I do think he has some talent. I think he's good out of the pocket, and I think he can throw the ball deep. But I don't think he's got it in him. I think he's a little bit of a bitch, to be completely honest. And I think he's the next Ryan Leaf behind Peyton Manning, who is Trevor Lawrence.
Damn, he's really calling him.
Wow.
He's taking it personal.
Oh
He's
my
taking it
goodness.
personal. Okay. All right. Well, it's not a word, the worst pick for you to pick a bust. He's a Jets quarterback. So odds are that's a good pick, So I like most of our breakouts and busts. We'll see how we do. All right. So final part of this podcast, we got to go through our week 1 picks, obviously, there's actually a lot of good games this week. I'm really excited to sit on my ass and watch 7 hours of football. It's going to be really fun. But the first game we got up is Eagles-Falcons. And before we make our picks for every game, we got to reference the stat boy to make sure that we don't make any calls that are going to be wrong because we think certain people are going to be healthy or not. So stat boy, Eagles-Falcons, who's in, who's out?
There are actually not many people out, Eagles-Falcons.
Okay.
Fletcher Cox was questionable before, but he's back. He's good.
Okay.
So the Eagles have that defense.
All right.
now.
I was just say they ain't beating the Falcons without big boy Cox.
Falcons.
No, there's nobody else.
There's
on the
no one
Falcons.
else.
There's no one else on the
Wow.
Falcons. Falcons are
Everything's
completely
good.
healthy. Okay.
Wow.
Falcons are all good.
Okay. All right. I think I'm taking Atlanta at home. I think Kyle Pitts is going to go off. Eagles linebackers aren't going to be able to keep up with him. And Matt Ryan's going to like his new little weapon. So I'm taking the Falcons here.
I agree. I think the Falcons are taking this game. I'm always betting against the Eagles. They're dog water. And Matt Ryan's still Matty Ice, bro. Nothing you can do.
Matty
about it.
Ice.
I don't know if he's Matty Ice anymore, but I am taking the Falcons.
Okay. So I know Statboy would take the Eagles, but he doesn't get any.
He gets no opinions.
Yeah, he gets no
Stats.
opinions yet. He's got to work his way into the opinions. But the next game, my opinion, is game of the week. I know I'm kind of worried about it as a Steelers fan, but we got Steelers, Bills, Statboy, who's injured this week.
Just one, actually. Stephon Diggs and Hyde, they're back in, along with Watt. With his contract, he's all good. Only one guy in the Steelers, Mr. Tuitt. He is questionable.
Okay. Tuitt's a pretty strong defensive weapon for us. But I think as long as Watt plays, I think our defensive line will be good. I think we'll be okay. So I hate to say it, Ryan, but I feel like I got to take the Bills. Josh Allen is just going to – we lost some good corners over the season. Our secondary is a little bit worse. I know we got Najee Harris, but that Bills defense is pretty good too. So I think I got to take the Bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I
don't like it, but
I hate to say
the Bills
it.
are one hell of a team, and
Yeah,
I think
they
Stephon Diggs might eat some people up.
Oh, yeah.
So
Considering that Mike Hilton ain't there anymore.
yeah, Hilton's not there to take.
Ryan, you're a
him down.
Steelers fan, right?
Yeah.
Good, because the Steelers are dog water, and the Bills are going to stomp.
Oh,
Bro, he don't got to disrespect us
Bro.
like that. Come on. Flag on the play. Jeez. All right, well, I guess Buffalo's going to take week 1. Steelers are not going to go 12-0 to start the season again.
And Stephon Diggs is going to give me 25 points of fantasy.
Oh.
I tell you what,
man.
16-1 isn't going to be bad this year, but we'll start off. a little
Yeah.
slow.
Well, yeah. We'll start off a little slow. Next game, it sounds boring, but it actually might be kind of enticing. Jets, Panthers. Jets got a lot of new players. Sam Darnold gets to face his former team. As long as he's healthy, though. Is Sam Darnold good? Is anybody else good? Who's injured?
Just 2 guys for the Jets. Lawson, he's out for the year.
Oh.
That's bad. But Crowder is questionable. He's
Okay.
questionable.
I know Crowder's got COVID, but I got to go with the Panthers. McCaffrey against the Jets defense, that's all I need to say. That's all needs to be said. And they're at home. So I'm taking Panthers.
Justin?
I'm going Panthers 100%. Even with everybody healthy on the Jets, I don't think they're going to beat the Panthers. They're not good. And especially with Zach Wilson being the biggest bust of this century.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we don't even have to ask him when we
True.
give picks about the Jets because he's just gonna, pick the other team. Every
I'm
time.
sorry you have a fear of Zach Wilson, but we'll work on it.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody can fear Zach Wilson.
We'll get you there.
As much as I want to say you're wrong, I have to go with the Panthers too. I
Yeah.
don't think Zach Wilson's a bust, but I still think they're the Jets, and there's nothing we can do about it.
That's true. Oh man.
Oh,
All right.
16, 17 now.
Anyway, next game we got up, Vikings, Bengals. Stat boy, who's injured for that game?
Actually, this is looking pretty good.
Okay.
Justin Jefferson was questionable. Now he's back.
Ooh,
So
that's a big weapon
pretty
that
open
they
lineup
got.
for both. We can see what
Okay.
these guys are actually playing with.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think even without Justin Jefferson, I would still pick the Vikings in this game because the Bengals are just going to be dog water. Honestly, I mean, they got good weapons, but Jamar Chase is not going to be what people think he is. I think he's going to be a bust. So I'm taking the Vikings here.
Yeah, I think the only winner in this game is going to be Joe Burrow's doctor for fixing his leg.
Yeah, true.
But
True.
the Vikings are definitely taking this game. Jefferson, Thielen, Dalvin Cook, all of them is going to.
I forgot. I don't know how I almost forgot about Dalvin Cook, but yeah, the Bengals defense is pretty garbage.
Way.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, Bengals, I don't think they stand a chance. Not Justin Jefferson. Joe Burrow will play a grand total of 1.5 quarters this season. And I hope he enjoys every second. But I don't think they stand a chance. Their defense isn't good. Their offense hasn't been clicking through the preseason. I don't see how they work that out.
Agreed. Next game we got 49ers, Lions.
Game of the century, baby.
Game of the century. Stat boy, who's injured for that game?
We actually have quite a few people that are questionable.
Okay.
Well,
it is. I was going to say it is the 49ers, so there is going to be a lot of questionable guys.
So there's about 4 that are pretty high impact. Ayuk, Armstead, Bosa, and Lance.
Oh.
Those guys are all questionable.
Those are some weapons. I'm still going to take the 49ers, though, because I know Jimmy G was going to play anyway, so Lance's injury doesn't really matter. If Ayuk can play, they'll be fine, but I'm taking 49ers.
I agree. The 49ers are going to be a really good team this year as long as they can stay healthy. And even with a couple injuries this game, the Lions are just like a high school team.
Right, yeah.
All right, I am taking Jared the golf ball and Lions.
Oh
what?
my
Really?
goodness.
Wait, hold on. Why?
I don't love them by any means, but I feel like every week there's got to be an upset. And you know what? I'm going for the Lions. They have some big injuries out on the 49ers.
They're going to hand the ball off right to Penei Sewell, and he'll take it to the house.
Yeah, true. That's their only offensive
Yeah,
weapon.
their running backs are going to have a huge week because they have no receivers.
Yeah, true. Next game we got up is Jags Texans. Stat boy, who's out for that game?
The Texans are actually pretty open. They don't have a lot of people out, obviously, with the Deshaun Watson.
Right,
predicament.
Watson, yeah.
He's not going to be playing.
Yeah.
But the Jags have a couple. They have Clark, Jones Jr., and 2 offensive linemen.
Oh, okay.
All questionable.
All right, well, considering that their 2 best receivers might be out this game, no diss on Chanel Jr., but, I am going to take the Texans in this one. I don't think Trevor Lawrence, I think he's going to get the first game jitters. I know the Texas defense isn't great. I think he's still going to have a good game, but I think the Texans are going to prove us wrong. I think they're going to show some.
I disagree. I think the Jags are still going to win that. I mean, Tyrod Taylor's going to get a needle to the lung halfway through the game anyway. Who knows who's stepping in next? And even that, I mean, Tyrod Taylor's never completed more than 60% of his passes in a game.
That's true. I'll give you that.
So I think with that alone, the Jags still have it.
Okay.
Yeah, Dill, I think you're stupid. No, I don't think the Jags are going to be anything phenomenal this year, but I think they have enough to beat the Texans. We'll see, but I don't have the Texans winning this game.
Okay. Now we finally get to an actually good game. I'm actually kind of excited to watch this game. But we got Seahawks, Colts. Stat boy, who's out for this game?
There's actually some high-impact players on both teams out or are going to be questionable. First, for the Seahawks, we have Lockett, questionable, and Wagner.
Ooh. Okay.
Good. And then for the Colts, this is the big guys. Hilton, he is out. He is not going to be playing. And Wentz, questionable. Those are the what we're looking at.
I think the Seahawks have got the favor, or got to be favorited anyway in this game, even if Wentz does play. I mean, having Bobby Wagner out would be kind of huge. But as long as DK Metcalf is healthy and Jamal Adams is healthy, I think the Seahawks got this in the bag.
Yeah, I think the Seahawks offense is, I mean, they're always something to be reckoned with. They're always putting up big numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And Lockett's big, but I think he's not the end of the world. And I think it'll be a really good game. I think it honestly could go either way, but I think the Seahawks will win it.
The Colts defense is going to keep him in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think the Seahawks are the better team. I think their cornerbacks are trash right now, but I also don't think the Colts have very good receivers. So I think that's kind of going to cancel out. And other than that, I think the Seahawks offense is just going to be too much for them to handle.
True. All right, next game, another good game. I told you we got a lot of good games this week. We got Cardinals versus the Titans. Stat boy, who's out for that game?
We got some high impact receivers out for this game.
Okay.
We've got Hopkins, questionable.
Ooh.
Brown, questionable. And Julio, both questionable.
Wow. Okay. Well, if A.J. Brown and Julio are both out, that doesn't leave the Titans with a lot of options to throw to.
Derrick Henry ball all day.
Yeah, just feed Derrick Henry. And they don't even have Juwanjo Smith anymore. So but I think that they're going to at least, contain Derrick Henry. And I think Hopkins is going to play through it. So I'm taking the Cardinals here.
Justin?
Given healthy receiver core, I'm taking the Titans. I think they're a sleeper team every year. I think Ryan Tannehill is going to have a good season as long as he is on the field, doesn't catch COVID.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd have to agree with Justin. I'm going with the Titans on that one. I mean, I like the Cardinals, and I think AJ Green's going to do better than people think this year, but I'm not saying that. I don't think week 1 he is.
On to the next game, another good game, and these are all at 1 o'clock. We got Chargers versus the football team. Stat boy, who's out for this game?
Chargers have 3 offensive linemen questionable, so
Ooh.
they're going to have trouble
Ooh.
protecting Herbert. And then Washington football team, Montez Sweat. He's out.
Okay.
So they don't have to protect him from sweat anymore.
Yeah, they're good. They're sweat protected.
They're wearing deodorant.
Yeah. If the Chargers' offensive line is not healthy, I don't see a way that Herbert can get off the ball at all. So I'm going to take the football team here. I think my boy Fitzpatrick and McLaurin are going to be the next greatest wide receiver quarterback duo.
I got to stick with Rainbow Herbert, and I'm just really high on the Chargers this year, so I'm taking them on that team. I think the defense is going to be tough, but Herbert's a dog. That's what he's going to do. He's
All
a
right,
dog.
Herbert's a dog.
I'm going with the Chargers. I love the football team. I think they're one good quarterback away from being a Super Bowl contender, and their defense and offense are just phenomenal. I just don't think they have enough to put it together right now. So I'm going to take the Chargers, even with some offensive linemen out. I think Justin Herbert is an absolute stud. I think he's going to have a great game.
We're now on to the 4 o'clock games. First one we got up is Browns Chiefs. Stat boy, who's out for that game?
Mostly just Browns players, but there are a couple Chiefs players. Some good guys on the Browns are out. OBJ, he could be questionable, and Myles Garrett.
Ooh, okay. Myles Garrett's going to be a big loss for the Browns, but I don't think it really matters either way. I'm taking the Chiefs in Kansas City all day.
I'm going to go with the Browns on this one. I know it's a weird pick, and this is my upset of the week. I'm coming with the Browns here. I think the Browns are going to come out swinging. Myles Garrett's going to be playing, and they're going to be doing it. They'll be doing the things they do.
But do you think Odell is going to be able to do anything coming off a torn ACL injury?
I think he'll be all right.
Okay.
If Myles Garrett plays, I'm taking the Browns.
My man.
What? Come on. What is this, bro? You're really rooting against the Super
all
Bowl.
the time. The Chiefs have great play calls, but the Bucs figured them out last year. They have that great pass rush. I'm taking the Browns.
The Chiefs' offensive line is so much better now that since the Super Bowl.
Yeah, now that they have the expatriate Joe Tooney.
Hey,
And Orlando Brown.
He's going to eat.
No, they
And they got
really
Orlando
are phenomenal. But I'm taking the Browns if Garrett plays.
Okay. All right. Well, I can't believe y'all betting against Mahomes, but all right. Next game we got Dolphins, Patriots. Stat boy, who's out for that week?
Best game of the
We
week.
have 2 people who are out. One
Okay.
on each side of the ball. Dolphins, Fuller, he's out. And for the Pats, Gilmore. he's
Oh,
out.
that's right. Will Fuller is suspended
This is
for this
only
week.
Suspended, right?
Only week he's suspended, but they still got good weapons in Devontae Parker and Jalen Waddle, so I don't think it will make too much of a difference. But not having Stephon Gilmore is going to hurt that Patriots defense. I'm going to take the Patriots. They play in New England. I know Mac Jones might have a tough time with that Dolphins defense, but I think Tua is going to have a tougher time with the Patriots defense.
I'm going to go with the Dolphins on this one because
Dumbass.
Stephon Gilmore's out, and they have no good cornerbacks after that, is what I've heard.
Mhm.
So
Dog water.
no one's
Dog
going
water
to be
corners.
able to cover any of that receiving core. Mike Gesicki's going to eat it up.
Oh, I will say Gesicki is going to go off.
Gesicki's going to eat it up. That's the way it is. Tua's going to be better than we think, and the Miami defense is going to hold their own very well against the Patriots offense.
Justin?
All right, finally. All right, hear me out. Mac Jones, I think, is going to come out and have as good a game as you can have for a rookie. I don't think he's going to blow anyone's hair back for 400 yards, but you could see him throw for 150 to 250 yards, a couple touchdowns, maybe a few interceptions. Miami has a good defense, but we'll see.
All right, we'll see. We'll see.
We will see.
All right, next game we got up. Packers, Saints. Stat boy, who's out for this game?
One big player for the Saints, Mike Thomas.
Michael Thomas. I forgot about him, but he's
Slant
out.
boy.
Drew Brees is not there anymore either. I think Winston's going to have a tough time against this Packers defense. I'm taking the Packers.
I have to agree. I mean, the Packers just have the talent. That offense is always crazy good. The defense is a little bit better, I think.
Mm-hmm.
The Saints, Jameis Winston is such a wild card. You just have no clue what's going on in his head.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He gives horrible pregame speeches, so no one's
It's
gonna
okay.
be hyped up.
He eats them. He
He
eats them.
eats
He
the dubs,
them.
bro. Like no one's gonna be hyped over this game.
Yeah, no.
Randall
He's
Cobb's
not
got
eating them.
200
He's not
yards.
eating them this game.
Nobody's
no
eating
way.
him.
No one.
Look, I think it's going to be closer than people think. I think Jameis Winston could have a good year, but I'm still going to have to go with the Packers. I think Aaron Rodgers, not at his best, is still better than the entirety of the Patriots, not the Patriots, Saints team at their best. So
True.
we'll see.
True. I agree. All right, last 4:00 game we got. It's Broncos, Giants. Stat boy, who's out for that week game?
Giants looking pretty good.
Okay.
Broncos, only two questionable players, Chubb and Fant.
Ooh, okay.
That's
Losing
big.
Bradley Chubb on the defense would be big, and
Noah Fant's big too.
Noah Fant's a pretty good weapon for them. I'm going to take the Broncos here. I think even if Chubb doesn't play, that defense is pretty good. Their corners got better. They have a great front seven. And I think Jerry Jeudy is going to have a big game because Cortland Sutton is going to be shut down by James Bradbury. So I'm taking the Broncos in this game.
Yeah, I like the Broncos secondary a lot. I think they look really good. And the Giants, I mean, they don't really have the receiving core anyway.
Yeah.
Realistically, Saquon's always Saquon, but he's coming off some injuries. Don't know what he's going to look like.
And
out
the
there.
offensive line is pretty
And there's
garbage.
no offensive line. I'd
No
have to go with the
offensive line.
Broncos.
I really like the Giants receiving core. The only issue with the Giants is I really, really don't like Daniel Jones. He was on my bust list, and I think this is a year where he's really got to prove himself, and I don't think he's got it in him.
Yep.
Even with Kenny Galladay, even with Sterling Shepard, they drafted Kadarius Toney. I don't think they have it in them, and for that reason, I'm going to have to go with the Broncos.
Good picks all around. But for the Sunday night game, we got Bears, Rams. Stat boy, who's out for that game?
The Bears are looking good, only they're not starting Justin Fields. That's their
Bad
their
call.
choice.
Bad call.
The
Flag on the
Rams
play.
have two questionable players in Floyd and Henderson.
Okay. I don't think Darrell Henderson is really going to have that much of an impact. I think Andy Dalton is going to play like complete garbage, because he's playing the number one defense. So I think the Rams are taking this one 100%.
Yeah, I'd have to give it to the Rams. The Rams are looking like a good team this year, and the Bears are just the Bears.
That's true. They are the Bears.
The Bears are the Bears, and I'm going to have to go with the Rams too. I think they're Super Bowl contenders. I think Matt Stafford is way better than anyone gives him credit for. I think he's been a top 5 quarterback for the last decade. Unlike Dylan does, I think he's going to have a good year now that he has some actual help.
I love Matt
Man,
Stafford.
I know he's good, but I don't know about top 5.
Matt Stafford's a freaking dog.
All right, last game. We got the Monday night game. Ravens versus the Raiders. Stat boy, who maybe I should ask who's in on the Ravens, but who's out?
Well, actually, there's so many people out on the Ravens. They're going to be choosing fans from the trying to play for them. But the Raiders, on the other hand, they're only missing maybe one guy questionable, Josh Jacobs. That's about it.
Ooh, okay. Well, I know for the Ravens, Marcus Peters is out. It's not like the Ravens secondary is pretty good. So honestly, a hit like that against a team like the Raiders, who doesn't really have a receiving core, I don't think is going to have much effect. I think the Ravens are going to run away with this one, even though that they've gotten a lot of injuries. I think Lamar Jackson's going to tear up that Raiders defense.
Yeah, I like the Ravens. I mean, they've got a really good defense, even when Marcus Peters down. Their number one running back is not out, so he's still quarterback, so they'll be fine there.
Right, yeah, they'll be good.
So that's not as big of a hit as it seems on like a regular team. And the Raiders, they're just not the defense the Raiders are supposed to be known for. They're nothing. Josh Jacobs might do a couple things here and there. I mean, I always like Derek Carr, but he's not spectacular. So I think the Ravens have it.
Yeah.
I agree. I think the Ravens are going to run away with it. I don't think the Raiders have anything special on offense or defense. It's going to be hard for them to keep up, and especially with Josh Jacobs being questionable, there goes a big part of their offense. Henry Ruggs was on my boomer bust this year, so we'll see what he's able to do. But I don't think the Raiders have the people to get it done.
Agreed. Good calls, bad calls made on this episode. Thank you, everybody, for being able to join. Statboy providing us with the good information. Justin trashing on Zach Wilson as usual. And Ryan seems to be in praise now about Justin Herbert, which I did not really know. But I want to thank everybody for watching. I hope to, keep this up. Let me know any ideas in the comments. How we can relate this stuff more to like us being referees. I know we didn't really do it as much on this episode, but that's kind of the focus of it a little bit. But I just want to thank everybody for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Hey, Bob.